We are back on the property web. Hello, I am Tom Carr, and we've got another interesting episode. So I think if you're traveling from overseas, or you've traveled from overseas like me, and you started investing in property, maybe you've got your own business, your financial affairs are potentially coming a little complex. It happens to all of us. Your career develops, things get more difficult. This one could be for you. So today we've got an award-winning accountant on the show, TikTok star and just all-round lovely person, Molly Lim is an accountant here in Sydney. She runs a firm called Above Advisory, and I'm really delighted to have her on. Welcome, Molly. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me today, Tom. And I'm really excited for, having kickstart with this episode as well.
Yes, great. Well, everyone needs an accountant. Everyone needs the knowledge of an accountant. So I think there's plenty we can explore. So I think, like I always try to do here, let's just wind back a little bit and just understand a little bit more about you before we go into the business, because there's good stuff on both sides.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm from overseas. You're from overseas. Why don't you tell us about how you got here to Sydney in Australia?
Sounds good. So a lot of people don't know this, but I was born and raised in a country called Myanmar, which a lot of people might know as Burma as well. And when I came to Sydney, I was 17 years old, only came here for university studies. I never really planned to migrate fully and live in Australia and start a family here. My parents do have a family business in Burma, and they always expect me to return home one day. And I think they still sort of have that in the back of their mind, even today. With the political situation right now, with how the country's been, it's just not a suitable place for me to even start a business over there. And after graduating in Macquarie University in accounting, I started as a first job as an accountant in one of the boutique firms. Luckily and very fortunate enough, I always started working in a public practice, so which means I was always looking after small businesses, tax returns, dealing with a lot of clients, and I did find really passion around that. Then I just wanted to explore a bit more and challenge myself, step into a Big Four accounting firm for a few years, KPMG during COVID. So it was a very interesting time, learned a lot from there. Then I did find that, my passion was truly with small businesses and helping them grow their financial journey. And that's how Above Advisory formed around 2024.
Yeah, so it's not long ago. And you've actually got another business as well, like as if you didn't have enough going on. You started the accountancy, but tell us about the other one you've got.
Yeah, very similar time. So May 2024, I partnered with my cousin to open a gym. It's a franchise gym though. It's a group fitness gym called BFT, and we have one at the BFT Glazeville. It was more about a passion project. Both of us are not from fitness background, but we have true passions in fitness, and just seeing how the community is. We started as being BFT members, and that's how much we sort of fall in love with the brand that we wanted to open one around the area, and then that's why we sort of decided to do that in Glazeville. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So accounting is the day job.
I would say so. We do have there still takes a lot of time running and operating a gym. Yeah. We have a team and student manager that helps us out on a full-time basis. At the same time, our main responsibility are around management and managing the studio. So it does take a fair lot of time for both businesses. But my true focus and day-to-day, I'm always in office for the accounting business. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's still early days, right? So you're still trying to explore how you're going to operate, who you're going to help, and I think that's great. So why don't we get a bit more into that side of things, because there's lots to uncover about how you help people and how people should be thinking about their finances, and sort of, especially for the future, people who are maybe in their late 20s, early 30s, They've got a long way ahead. Let's sort of help prepare them. So why don't we touch on maybe a typical day? Like what is a typical client who comes to you? What are you seeing from them that's useful for us to know here?
Yeah, definitely. what I normally speak to people and our clients is the main focus clients that we currently look after are small businesses or sole traders, just starting their business out or have run a business for a couple of years, but they're not having that kind of relationship with the accountant where they don't feel that they could just ring up and give them a phone call and ask questions or send them a quick email and expecting that, they'll be getting a guidance from. So that's where our specialty is. We want to ride along your business journey with our clients and not just once in a year where you go and see an accountant, that sort of thing. So we do all the compliance stuff on a day-to-day basis. However, where we sort of like differentiate ourselves is more around giving that extra tax strategy about how we can help you minimize and structure your business, or understanding your personal and family goals as well and how that aligns with your business goals, and basically helping them unpack about their financial journey. I'm not saying about giving a financial advice, but helping more in terms of helping their financial business journey, and not just looking at business, but also their personal lifestyle, their investment goals, where they sort of want to see themselves in like 3 to 5 years' time. Yeah.
And when someone's starting their own business, obviously you started quite early, but you've had a bit of corporate leg up maybe. Is that common? Or do you see people coming from like straight out of uni, going into business? What is a...
Oh, we're seeing a bit of combination, which is very cool. Okay. Yeah. So of course, traditionally, all majority of our clients are more so in their 30s, 40s, where they would have worked in corporate and started knowing where their specialty is and then wanting to start their own business. But I am really, really, I'm really, really happy to see that a lot of the uni students are now starting to think forward and start thinking about how they can start a business just after graduating, and helping those young graduates and young people coming out of uni in their business journey has been truly inspiring.
And how do they even find out about you? I get the sense you're out there more than me. So what are some of the ways you actually reach people?
I would say social media is probably one of the most lead attraction for us right now, through the organic content through TikTok, Instagram, or we do sometimes run a few Meta ads as well. That's where our main exposure is. The good thing is, now that we've have the business for a bit over a year, I'm seeing a lot of referrals coming in, which sort of could say that our current clients who we're currently looking after are quite happy.
Yeah. That's like the ultimate, right? It's a lot less effort to have a good referral. It just means you've got to look after the ones you do have.
Yeah.
And so what are some of the things that people really latch onto when they're perhaps starting that new business or coming towards you? What are you putting out there that they kind of really resonate with?
It's the guidance and structure, I would say. So when someone's starting the business, a lot of things seems very overwhelming, especially with all the tax and regulations that in Australia, and how it's changing every year too. So people are like, don't even know which one to follow or where to even start, and just unpacking it for them and say, this is probably the first steps that we should focus on, look after. This is where you should be investing on. Don't bother like investing all this money on other things that you probably won't be seeing any effect for the next 12 or 24 months. And just helping them prioritize that is something that a lot of business owners need a bit of guidance on.
Yeah, okay. And I mean, it's clearly working. You're doing something really... I said you're an award winner. That's real. Like, you actually got remind us what award you did receive.
It was a small business advisor award for the rising stars in like accounting industry. Yes, it was for accountants under 30 under the category of small business advisor.
And I mean, that must have been, was it a surprise or?
It was definitely a surprise, because we were at that point, we were only 3 to 4 months of starting the business. And just by, obviously we have to submit of what the business was doing and what we were offering in the market. And it was a true surprise to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, I totally understand why you would have got that. I've referred a few people to you and they've had an amazing experience. And that's like really valuable for me as well, just because I know that they're being looked after, and it's a sort of, no one thinks of accounting.
Yeah, so Tom, when I started my accounting firm, it wasn't about like money or finance decision. It was just truly to help people and like small businesses. So I guess that really might have differentiate me from like other business owners. Maybe a lot of the time I just see myself putting myself in the shoe of, okay, I just started my business. Okay, I have all this knowledge from working in corporate, but what if you don't, and you just feel lost and you don't even know where to start in asking help or questions. Yeah.
Do you think anything? You mentioned your parents have a business as well. Is that something you grew up with? Is that sort of the whole entrepreneurial vibe? Is that something you've brought over with you?
Yes, I grew up with that. I basically grew up like in the office every day. So I never really thought that I'll be like in corporate for a really long time.
Yeah.
So people did ask me about, don't you feel scared starting your own business in a foreign country? I am actually thinking like the opposite. I felt more scared working in corporate for a lot of long years just because, during COVID, I could see a lot of people were let go in big firms and it just happened the next day. Like I felt that you don't have control over that. Whereas like when you run and operate your own business, you do have a lot more control. Yes, the stability could be a risk and you're taking a lot of risks in running a business. At the same time, personally for me, I felt like I have more control running my own business.
And have you found, being here in Australia, is it sort of easier, harder, do you imagine, to sort of actually do what you're doing? Or is it just sort of becoming naturally easy?
Different in a lot of aspects.
Yep.
Burma, like you're probably very familiar with the country, have different challenges regarding political and economical society challenges. However, of course, in Australia, we do have other challenges like having a labour shortage and skill, accountant shortages within the industry. So I guess I'm sort of quite blessed in a way that we do have a great team right now. I obviously sort of want to keep the momentum going. The next challenge that might come for our business might be when we want to grow for the next stage and how we want to see and expand the team. And that's where probably the main challenge might come true.
Yeah, everyone has got that friction, how quickly, slowly do you grow? How do you bring people along? But you've got your own office now. That's
in Epping, Sydney office.
Yeah, no, it looks great. You've got your little sort of studio there where you put your marketing out, and it must feel great to have that base now.
It is. I do have a mixed feelings about it because the very first year I was just operating from home. It was great. And I love that flexibility, just imagine working from home 5 days a week, right? It was perfect. But there were also days that I'm like, okay, I need to start separating workspace to home. And, I'm married and I do sort of have like look after home responsibility. And sometimes I don't want them to overlap, and just having that distinct has helped. At the same time, now that we have our own office, I still miss working from home some days too.
Yeah, nothing's perfect. But do you find people coming in to see you, or is it still kind of quite online based in terms of?
We're very big on virtual meetings. We sometimes clients want to drop by to say hi, and that's really lovely. And we do have like business partners like yourself having a space to do a face to face. It's so funny when I first started my business because maybe the business was quite new. And maybe I do look a lot younger. So a lot of businesses are a little skeptical about working with us. And they're like, oh, can I come see you face to face to have an initial conversation? And
right, okay.
That's how it worked. Yeah. To probably see I'm the real person and not someone working from Asia and trying to give them some tax advice, maybe.
Yeah, okay, maybe. But yeah, you've gone through the whole Australian system now. Being at Macquarie Uni would have given you the base, and you've kind of gone through the right firms and so on. So there's kind of nothing stopping you. So I think maybe at this point it's really good to just go through a story, like maybe someone who came to you with a bit of a difficult problem or something that you really help them with. It's just to sort of get in people's minds, or what you do and how they can relate to it.
Yeah. So I'll just sort of use a client example where, if they have their own business, running their own business probably for a few years, but wanting to step up, and not just in their business side, but maybe wanting to grow their investment portfolios, starting to get to understand how they can keep buying multiple investment properties, grow their investment portfolios. Where we can help them out is, number one, helping them with the right structure about, just understanding from the tax perspective as well, what structure would be ideal for them in terms of their personal finances, tax as well. And then I guess, partnering with someone like you, Tom, and then connecting them to the right mortgage broker, connecting them to the right people that they can speak to throughout the decision-making journey has been a great help. Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of talk in property world about structures, trusts, that sort of thing. And we probably hear it way more than others. But what do you say to people who come to you and like, I want the unlimited borrowing, I just want to buy 100 properties and, just make my passive income.
I just laugh and laugh first.
Another one.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah, so maybe just unpack that as much as you can, like just in simple terms. What is what structure are they thinking? They might not be able to articulate it exactly, but what is it that they're asking about, and what are some of the pitfalls or pros and cons?
Yeah,
maybe?
When we hear or like even get a referral or lead, someone like that looking in terms of like assisting with the structure, I always still offer them a 30-minute initial consultation session. The reason why is I do want to understand their personal position as well. Not everyone's in the same position, because for one family and one person, the family trust structure might work, but for the other, it might not work or might benefit them as they think that they are. So, if you are looking at all the content online, resources, videos is great. Educate yourself at the same time. Take it with a grain of salt. Not all of them might be true to the extent of what you're probably seeing online. Always clarify back with like professionals, with like us accountants or mortgage broker, because at the end of the day, we are the one helping and executing these structures, not when you're just looking at online and seeing people talking about you could buy multiple properties or have multiple borrowing capacity under a trust structure. Yeah.
And there's ongoing commitment. It's not like you just set up a trust and buy the property and you're done.
Yeah.
It's annual reviews.
Yeah. To give you a very specific example, so during that initial consultation call, I'll be asking what their current situation is, whether they're working full-time, how much their income is roughly, or whether they're running a business and are they running under company structure or sole trader. That is the beginning point. Then I ask questions about where they're buying property at. Like the state that they're buying property could also determine the fact of which structure might be helpful for them in terms of tax, because every state do have different land tax threshold. That's another thing that they should be considering. Then after that, explaining if they definitely wanted to go ahead with family trust, then explaining what that entails, how much the cost of the initial setup is. After that, what are the things they should be looking out for? Family structure is great and it works for a lot of people. At the same time, it also has some disadvantages that people need to be aware.
Yeah. And that's the sort of detail you would go into.
Yes.
Once you really do need to understand a little bit more about them. ATO.
Our friendly friend.
The friend, yeah. I mean, are there any things that have emerged this tax season that are sort of caught your eye or on the horizon? I probably don't pay as much attention as you to sort of what's going on there.
I could touch base on two side of things. One's more on like the property sides and where they're focusing on, and another one's a bit more on probably small business owners and what they should be mindful for. So with property side, ATO is very much aware now around people buying multiple investment properties, and if you are lodging your own tax return, they are very strict on what you're claiming on your returns. Okay. Because these days, yes, a lot of properties are negative gearing, so which means you are not really making money on it. So which means you can use that to offset against your other income, right? So ATO is very careful of what interest you're putting in, whether all your claims and deductions for the property are legitimately deductible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the ATO issues. So explain again about what some of the things are that they're doing around small business and so on. Correct.
So it's not that people are trying to abuse the regulations. It's more so how the complexity of it. So to give you a very specific example, let's say if a client purchased a property and intention to use it as an investment property, but it was vacant when they bought it. So if the property is vacant and they haven't done anything to get it lease and haven't advertised and things like that. Let's say they are just renovating to get the property in a good position to rent it out for the first 6 months. The first 6 months of interest is not tax deductible immediately in their tax return. Yep. It needs to be capitalized until the property is made available on the market for lease by, advertising, or once it's become available for tenant to move in. Yep. That's only when all the deductions become tax deductible in your tax return, which a lot of people can get easily confused. So ATO is quite strict on what deductions has been put through as a claim. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of things you don't really want to be caught up in when they're doing, because they're getting way more sophisticated now about how they monitor this, right?
The data matching has been improving year on year, and it's surprising us even as accountants to see how they're picking up things now. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we really want them to be so good? But to simplify everything.
It is what it is. So we just need to be mindful of that. And on a separate thing for small businesses, there have been a few changes, but one of the biggest thing is if you're a small business owner, and hiring people or even paying yourself a wage, now ATO is going to implement a Payday Super. So Payday Super is around where as an employer or employee, if there's a super payments before, you can pay super every quarter, and there's a due date on a quarterly super payments. But from next financial year, 1 July, they want to start enforcing for employer to pay it after every pay run. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, there's heaps more we can go into about ATO.
Definitely.
No, I think I think it's good to just set the scene, and we've kind of learned a little bit more about you and some of the clients. So I think best situation is for people to reach out to you as and when they actually need help. And I don't know whether people do that way in advance. If they were starting their own business, does it happen? Do you find people are that prepared? They reach out before? Or
no.
They just get deep into it and they're like, oh.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's normal. So is there anything that we haven't touched on that you kind of feel you want to highlight?
Yeah, probably one thing is when, let's say very similar to what you've mentioned before, when your financial position is starting to get a little messy, whether it's because of your business, sole trader, or even because you're working full time, but you start having multiple investment structures and feeling stuck and not sure where to go from here or whether your current structure is right. Definitely have a chat or with your current accountant, or if you don't feel like you're having the support, then definitely reach out to us and we can see what we can support from there. We always work with professional people like Tom, yourself. If you don't have a great mortgage broker, we help our clients connect with them to make sure that we always need to work side by side. It's not just, you can't just have an accountant and then making them understand all your loans and structures. We understand to a certain point, but we can't write
there is a handle.
And loans and we always going to have to rely on other professionals like
no one does it all themselves, right?
Yeah.
Well, Molly, it's been great having you on. And for those who don't know, my wife is also from Myanmar, Burma. So she actually might watch this episode. She's, a bit of an interest there for her. Maybe she sees herself.
We always talk about her, and I'm looking forward to meet her one day in person.
She's there. She'll be watching this one for sure.
Amazing.
So tell us how people can get hold of you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm available online. Yeah, we probably put a link
we'll do that,
where you can sort of book an initial call if you're interested or want to just have a chat. And I'll be around.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you so much for having me today, Tom.
Absolutely, no problem. And thanks for listening, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
See ya. Bye.